Let's be real, cake is the king of desserts. Birthday? Cake. Wedding? Cake. Just survived a Monday? Eat a cake. But have you ever wondered how this sweet masterpiece came to be? Buckle up, because we are taking a tasty trip through time to uncover the delicious history of cake, from its ancient bread-like beginnings to the Instagram-worthy creations we drool over today. Let's start with the OG cakes. Turns out, cake has been around for thousands of years, but the earliest versions were more like fancy bread than the mind-blowing desserts we know today. As far as we know, the ancient Egyptians were the first to level up their baking game, using honey to sweeten bread-like cakes. The Greeks whipped up plakous, or plakos, a flat honey and cheese cake that was basically ancient cheesecake. They also celebrated Artemis, the goddess of the hunt, wild animals, nature and so on, birthday with round honey cakes supposedly topped with lit candles to mimic the moon's shape and glow. Germans later turned it into Kinderfest, where kids blew out candles and made wishes. Sound familiar, right? The ancient Romans went wild with libum, a cheesy sacrificial cake for the gods, because even deities can't resist a sweet treat. They also made satura, a dense, raisin-packed cake that might just be the great-great-granddaddy of fruitcake. Let's fast forward to the Middle Ages, where cakes started looking a little more familiar, but with some interesting twists. During that period, cakes were still super dense, loaded with dried fruit, nuts and spices thanks to the new trade routes. Sugar was crazy expensive, so honey was the go-to sweetener. In England, people baked coins and rings into cakes for good luck. During the 18th-19th centuries, cakes got a big upgrade. They started getting softer, sweeter, way more delicious and more accessible. Bakers realized beaten eggs made cakes rise better than yeast, and that was the game changer. Sponge cakes were born, and they were light as air compared to the old-school brick-like cakes. In 1843, baking powder came along, and suddenly making fluffy cakes became much easier. Frosting, made from sugar and egg whites, became a popular addition. Queen Victoria's reign brought elaborate layered cakes with fancy icing. For example, the Victoria sponge, named after, the Queen, became a beloved tea-time treat in England. And soon enough, in 1882, the first modern tiered and ornate wedding cake cooked up. Rumor has it that the cake was inspired by a church spire. The 20th century turns cake into the superstar dessert we know today. While earlier cakes were mostly enjoyed by the upper classes, they eventually became a treat for everyone. In the 1930s, boxed cake mixes hit the scene, and suddenly even the most kitchen-lazy people could whip up a decent cake. Then came the golden age of cake decorating. Thanks to TV baking shows and social media, cakes went from simple desserts to jaw-dropping edible art.
Bitch, is this cake? No, it's not. It's cake.
From ancient honey bread to edible sculptures, cake has always been about celebration, creativity and taste. So next time you're stuffing your face with a slice, remember, you are tasting history.